Kvichak Marine started about 30 years ago building aluminum fishing vessels for Bristol Bay, Alaska. As we grew as a company, we started doing other products, oil spill response vessels, passenger vessels, patrol vessels, survey vessels, and pilot boats. So everything was done in 2D back in the day. So we would actually have a 3D wireframe, but very quickly we would go to 2D images, and it really depended upon the engineer to be able to keep the 3D model in his head. So we started working with SolidWorks to see how that could improve our process.
Because we're doing everything in 3D in SolidWorks with an ever-increasing level of detail, we're able to see problems well in advance of where we would before. Over the last several years, we've seen a dramatic decline in the amount of rework due to engineering. This particular boat, we would have never been able to build it in 2D. There's piping that runs through a section of the boat that was only accessible in the very early stages of the construction. So we had to be able to see every single pipe in this project, lay it out in detail, and all the interactions and mechanical systems before we ever even started building. All our modules can have all of the design intent pre-built into them. We can see all the connections, let's say for an engine, already laid out, all the exhaust, everything's connected together in 3D modules. It also allows us to retain much more of the engineering knowledge in the design itself. So as the customer's trying to sort out what they really want, we're not throwing away any of the engineering that we've done before.
We have an extensive parts library that we've built up over the years. Every time we need something, we make sure that we model it to a standard which will allow us to use it on other boats. And that's one of the ways that we can be competitive, is to be able to leverage all of the past engineering that we've done in the next projects.
Some of the systems, like the structure of the boat, we can define earlier in the process. We can get plate to the cutting facility much earlier in the process because we can start releasing things as we go, especially since we build in a very modular method. We work with one of the most expensive materials you can work with. Short of being fighter planes made out of titanium, aluminum is expensive. The more efficient we're getting with our material processing, getting all of these components into our nesting programs, getting more efficient nests, we're seeing pretty significant declines in the amount of scrap we send out the floor. We're able to save a lot of money there, tens of thousands of dollars for every boat we build.
The 3D environment, I believe, really helped us to do it right the first time. It didn't depend so much on the engineer to be able to keep the 3D model in his head. It was actually right there, helping keep the vision of the project on track.
For more information, contact your nearest SolidWorks reseller or explore us further on the web.